to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms, in your own inner and understanding of what this world is really about. Thanks to everyone that supports us on Patreon. Go ahead and subscribe as well to this channel. We are going to be transitioning it to a more spiritual channel, going deeper, because I realize that the majority of people who are on our primary show, Dr. Mumbi show, are really still in the Christian Kool-Aid. But here I'm really going to be getting into, the African spiritual sciences, and we're just laying the groundwork now. The very important groundwork. So, subscribe to both. That will be more of a news channel. Thanks so much for your support, beloveds. It means a lot. Special shout out, of course, to our Patreon family. Absolutely love you for enabling us to continue to do what we do and keep our staff going, etc., etc. So, I get so many emails asking, why can't Africa get it together? Why isn't Africa awakening? Why, Africa, wake up before, Babylon gets you. First of all, no one's going to get Eden. It's just impossible, Enough of us are awake at this time where there will not be an elimination of our bloodlines. But the important thing is to get as many people, it's not, we can't say, we're not like Babylon. So we can't say, enough of us are awake, so let's forget about everyone else and just do us. No. Of course, those that have been called at such a time as this to scream and shout and cry in the wilderness are still doing so as we continue to increase on that tipping point. But the main reason that we have been, that we as an African people have been so caught up, so confused, and literally dominated by these dictators, etc., is because we are under, a spell, beloveds. And what we don't realize, some of us don't take things like social engineering and the engineering of poverty and a poverty mindset as seriously, but that's what's happened, because there's a group consciousness. And whatever the majority of that group consciousness thinks will affect everyone else in that group, even the outliers, the ones who know the truth, etc., who are operating on a much higher level. They'll be affected by the lowest. And the city, like whenever you walk into a conversation or whenever you're part of a group, the group is protected and guided by the highest spiritual person there, but they take on the characteristics of the lowest vibrational person there. And so that's why it's so important for each of us to concentrate on elevating our mind, but to understand the effect of group consciousness, and why it's so important for each and every one of us to do the necessary work to learn about where we're from. Because there's some research that was done a while back. I know it's called the 100th monkey effect. You can go and check it out. And it shows how this is how the spiritual consciousness works, this collective consciousness works, and it showed how so there were monkeys on two different islands, and the monkeys on one island, so all the monkeys used to eat the potatoes the same way. They just take them from the ground and eat them. Then all of a sudden, one or two monkeys discovered the art of taking the potatoes to the ocean, washing them, and then eating them. And so at first it started with a few, then it became a dozen, then it became 50. And then the scientists noticed, it kept going, that when it reached 100 monkeys, the monkeys on the other island who had never interacted with the monkeys on this island, all of a sudden also started taking their potatoes to the ocean to be washed, and that became the norm. And the culture was changed forever. And I think we need to really look at how powerful that is in terms of our own consciousness and our group consciousness. For right now, beloveds, the group consciousness of our people, first of all, was shattered. It was totally shattered and it was divided. So we couldn't see each other. We didn't know what each other was going through. And then we were all in these silos, of dictatorship, control, religious manipulation, educational manipulation, societal manipulation, and just in this crazy cycle. And in order to maintain our heritage, many of our ancestors took a vow of silence because the Mzungu came for our knowledge here on the continent. And so they pillaged, they killed, they tried everything they could. And literally, I don't know, I might lose you here, but literally, those of our people who I always call the ancient one, those of our people who were on the spiritual highest level, they literally took themselves to the next dimension to avoid this. And they are now what many call like guardian angel. You can think of them as the guardian angels, if you want, and they are there also to assist because we are from that realm. Many of us, many ancient ones that are here, we are from that realm and we are here to kind of put ourselves together. So our group consciousness, for so long it was stuck on this Mzungu God, Mzungu Jesus. Our people are wicked. We were monkeys. We came from the jungle. I mean, people really believe this, that we evolved from monkeys when it's actually the other people that evolved from monkeys and came from caves. We never did. We've always been spiritual beings who have incarnated into this reality to have a physical experience and to learn, and everything is ourselves, everything is about our spirit, and these are the deeper truths that we have to understand. So because that is still the main group consciousness: Christianity, Muslim, democracy, Muslim English, French, that culture is still the majority of our group consciousness. That is what it has made it so hard for us to get out of it, because we are literally in like a fake program. We are literally in like a simulation, as many people say. This is not our reality. This is far from real. But it's got us so hooked on our mind and our sexual mind, that and we've gotten so out of ourselves that we think this is real, and the majority of our people think this is real. And that's why we don't see any change in Africa, because you see, the change cannot come physically. We are not physical beings trying to be spiritual. We're spiritual beings. And so if we don't get that overstanding on the spiritual level, it can never come down physically. And that's why nothing we do is getting rid of these dictators, etc., etc. But things are changing. I'm going to get into that right after this. Welcome back, beloveds, to the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? Yeah, it's Wake Up Africa, Dr. Mumbi Live. We're definitely going to be diving deeper spiritually, but we want to set the foundation for ourselves, beloveds, so that for those who aren't, where we are, and, if you're Christian and if you're still in the religious psychosis, I would definitely recommend that you dive deeper. Some of the great there's this guy called Stephen Darby. He was taken out, literally crazy. I'll get into him in another time. But if you're trying to find your way out of the religious psychosis, he's a really good place to start. But why is Africa where it is right now? Why aren't things changing in Africa? I know there's a great frustration among us, and it's because the majority of us are stuck in a very low vibration, in a very low perception of reality. And perception is reality. So in order for us, and that's why what's been happening now with different people connecting, the fact that even in Africa alone, for decades, beloveds, Kenya didn't know what was going on in Uganda. Ugandans didn't know what was happening in Nigeria. Ghanaians and West Africans and East Africans hated each other. South Africa, Mozambique, is not even on my radar. That's how it's been for so long. And this division, and then each of us is indoctrinated with all these ideologies that were not fake ideologies about who we are. But now with all this, we just with the Aquarian age and the fact we moved from an emotional age, which was a very manipulative and dark age and lower vibrational age, we've moved to the mental age. So now we've been seeing proof of that with how information is getting around and what's happening. It's not so much about us reporting on this and reporting on that and telling you what Babylon is doing, but it's more like we're knitting together. And I've seen so many comments about, someone in Botswana will say, oh my gosh, I can't believe, Nigerians also have this kind of culture or eat this kind of food. And, someone in Kenya will think the same about someone in Angola, like we'll have the same, similar drumming, etc., etc. So we had been so divided and dispersed, but now we're coming together, beloveds. And, as we come together, as we learn more about each other, we're actually Sankofa. We're coming back to ourselves because we're seeing how familiar we are. And then there's so many among us, millions, beloveds, who are awakening to the truth, who are, breaking the religious and, the potent, mental psychosis, mental prison, bringing themselves, elevating themselves, moving back into our culture. And this is having a massive ripple effect on the entire global Black nation because more and more of us are coming to realize, wait, so Mzungu Jesus isn't even real? Wait, so I don't even have to be poor? Like poverty is something that was created in my mind? So a lot of us are coming into that, and what we can do as a people is really support those voices, share your voice, share your story, interact as much as possible, but continue to elevate yourself because we are trying to influence the group consciousness. And the Mzungu has shattered and controlled our group consciousness because he's feeding us so much with the celebrity nonsense, with, all kinds of bull. Mzungu's churches are closing down, but here in Africa, churches are opening up. And I keep saying, this Mzungu Jesus is painted on the walls of our people. That shows you that the mental enslavement is real. And then we wonder why Mzungus are in our country feeling like they're gods on earth because we think God looks like them. I mean, it's a mental psychosis, beloveds. But the more you're able to get out of it, the more others will be pulled out of it. Not because of you doing anything. Remember the 100th monkey effect. The monkeys didn't have to go to the other island and say, hey, this is how you do this is how you do that. They just changed. Collectively, they changed. And that impacted everyone. And so for us, there is a remnant. I know it's been called a remnant. There is a group of ancient ones, a group of current ones, and a group of future ones that are here now, both physically and spiritually, to reach that tipping point. And that's why there's been such a rapid individual awakening and transformation. And if you've been part of that, then you are part of this movement. And for us, we are the jailbreakers. We are the game changers. And we must elevate ourselves. As we elevate ourselves, we will come together more and more. And as we come together, we will pull so many people online and we will influence the group consciousness. It doesn't mean the majority has to come online. It's just enough of us have to come online to change everything. And this is what, they call, I'm not going to get into that. I just felt spirit say, hey, hold up, hold up, hold up. But that's why I say really the most important work that you can be doing right now is healing and elevating thyself, learning the truth for thyself, so that you and protecting your consciousness, realizing your consciousness is the most valuable thing. And no one should be making decisions for you because you are the one who will have to pay for those decisions ultimately. So you need to be extremely wise about how you're moving. You can't be listening to your mama or your daddy about, what they think about the Roman Catholic. The matrix is gone, beloveds. All those chains are broken. Each of us, everyone for themselves and the Most High for us all. That's the season we're in. So elevate yourself to help everyone else. and keep praying for the group consciousness, for enlightenment and revelation to continue. Chant for that. For that. Until next time. Tuko pamoja.